Uh, that's the point. This projection was produced by a user organization. So users in the Netherlands started to work together and also invested money. They collected money to build first roads. So they organized meetings to promote a program for road building. The problem for the cars was partly it was very unsafe. At the moment still, I think there are 1 or 2 million, I don't know exactly how many, I think close to 2 million people are killed every year on the road. So think about it, we have accepted a machine in our society that kills 2 million people a year. This was already recognized early on. That was a killing machine. The solution was discipline and separation. So what the users started to do, they asked the government permission to train young kids in school in the Netherlands to how to behave in traffic. Certainly when you are bicycling. So this is dressed as a police officer, but in fact it's a volunteer organized by the Dutch user organization of cars, training young kids how to behave in traffic. This is another poster, another example where they try to provide instructions how to behave in traffic. This user organization also started to organize bus trips to the airport in the Netherlands. This is Schiphol. It was a very small airport at the time because flying could only be done by the very, very rich, but it was a spectacle. So this user organization organized bus trips to Schiphol Airport to experience mobility, but the bus trip was promoted as learning what it is to drive a car. You get the car experience by driving a bus, basically. So they were educating the people how to become a car driver, how to get the experience. Well, this is another example. The Netherlands had many bridges because of all the waters, and you had to pay for the toll. And this was, of course, interrupting the car. So this is a protest, a riot against the toll. They wanted to have a new tax system. So all these car drivers here are organizing a riot. So this is the user citizen arguing for a new tax system. Well, we come to the user consumer. This is a promotion of the Ford, and it says for business and leisure. So basically the car became a universal machine, and here the argument is the consumer should just experience and enjoy the car for all kind of purposes. So here you see the user consumer who still needs to make the buying decision, of course. So the idea is that in 1950, although the car is not dominant, it was already dominant in the minds of the people. I would argue that 80% of the Dutch population in 1950 was longing for a car. They were not driving a car, they wanted to have a car. They already saw their own future as being a car driver. Not only that, we had built an entire system. This is a very nice picture because you see a Volkswagen, which was of course built by Hitler as the car for the people. Here you see the system, the highway system built without any car yet. So the whole system was prepared for the car. So in 1950, in a way the car society was already there, although there were not many cars. So my question is, that I want to explore more, is how to think about the user in the mobilities paradigm. And these are the kind of users, and the user intermediary is just this role of this tourist organization that on the one hand disciplines the car user, but also works with the producers to bring the product and use together and make it possible. So that's the role of the intermediary. This is the user having to take a buyer decision. This is the user lobbying the government for pro-road activities. This is the user producing and working with the car. And there's a long culture, of course, of car tinkering. And this is the user connecting, developing a legitimation for the car. So the idea is that the user, in fact, is the one who was very active in promoting the car paradigm. So the question, in fact, is because a lot of the research going on always looks at the supply side and the infrastructures, with the active people involved, users. What is their role? The thinking here is they play a very active and a varied role, but we should also look at many of these issues through the lens of the user.